The UFC just dropped the headliner for UFC Fight Night Noche. Diego Lopes versus Gene Silva is a banger of a fight. This might be fight of the year right here. I'm calling it fight of the year. But why is Yair Rodriguez getting a title shot? Why is he getting a title shot? And one of the most undeserved title shots. More undeserved than Sean O'Malley, bro. Like, what are we doing with the matchmaking here? And on top of that, the guy that should be fighting for the title is fighting a Bellator bum, because let's be honest, after we just saw from Mario Bautista and Patchy Mix looks so bad out there. Evloev might finish Arapico. Like, let's be honest, Evloev might get his first finish in the UFC against Arapico. But before, let's start off with this one right here, because this is a banger of a fight, bro. UFC blessed us for September. They said, "Yo, you guys might not get you might not get a pay-per-view, but this right here, I'll accept." Banger of a fight. Crazy grappling exchanges. You know the striking's gonna be insane. Man, two of my favorite fighters right here are fighting right there. Early predictions on here. I think Diego Lopes is gonna beat Gene Silva. I think Diego Lopes is just a little bit more experienced than Gene Silva. Obviously, Diego Lopes just came out of a 5-rounder against Alexander Volkanovski, dropped Volkanovski in the second round. And I feel like the reason why Diego Lopes lost that fight against Volkanovski was he didn't let his hands go. And for this fight right here against Gene Silva, he gonna have to let his hands go. Gene Silva, if you don't let your hands go against Gene Silva, he gonna drop you or submit you. And he's shown that. And of course, Gene Silva's highest ranked opponent that he's fought is Bryce Mitchell. And Bryce Mitchell just went to bantamweight. But Gene Silva is really that dog right now. Nobody wanted to fight Gene Silva. And Diego Lopes just said, anytime, any place, just give me an opponent. That's how real Diego Lopes is. That's why I love Diego Lopes. But this fight right here is going to be so good. Like, I just hope that the undercard for this is stacked, because it's in the USA now. I know it's in Texas, and you know it's UFC Noche. They put a bunch of Mexicans on here. But dude, make this at least a stacked fight night card. Which they're probably not going to do, because, let's be honest, it's in the USA still. If it was in Mexico, they probably would have stacked it up. But if it was in Abu Dhabi, then it would have been the greatest card. Because let's be honest, the Abu Dhabi card is beautiful, stacked. But you know how the UFC are. You know how the UFC is right now. Anything in the USA, they're throwing in whatever together, and you know we're watching it, dude. But this right here, banger of a fight. Early prediction. I cannot wait for this fight right here. I think Diego Lopes is gonna beat Silva. 5 rounds, you know. Lopes has been in a 5-rounder already against the featherweight Golden Volkanovski, and I think he's gonna beat Gene Silva in 5 rounds. Because another thing we're worried about was Gene Silva's cardio. But Gene Silva has the cardio. That's another thing too. Gene Silva smoked Bryce Mitchell and was out here emoting, because this man emotes a lot, and we're here thinking, oh, he's gonna waste his cardio emoting. Well, that's why I'm still conflicted on who's going to win this fight, because I know Gene Silva about to emote and destroy his opponents, and he could do that to Diego Lopes. Let's be honest. But I can't wait for this fight. My early predictions right now is Diego Lopes beats Gene Silva just because of the experience, but at the same time, I'm here thinking Gene Silva might smoke Diego Lopes and might get the next title shot. But Yair Rodriguez should have fought Diego Lopes, not Volkanovski. I don't get it, bro. He should not be fighting Alexander Volkanovski after beating Patricio Pitbull, dude. After his last 2 wins, his last 2 losses was against Brian Ortega, who's not even in the division anymore, who's moving up, and then Volkanovski, who destroyed him. Like, I don't get why most undeserved title shot ever, bro. And I hate Yair Rodriguez, bro. I hate him. He's out here on social media saying, "Oh, I don't think I should fight Diego Lopes. If he wants to fight me on the street." Like, same dumb shit, bro. But This is one of the most undeserved title shots. It should have been Evloev fighting. If anything, the matchmaking should have been like this: Diego Lopes versus Yair Rodriguez for UFC Fight Night Noche. Then, Gene Silva versus Aaron Pico. Gene Silva versus Aaron Pico, and then Evloev versus Volkanovski for the belt. That's how the matchmaking should have been. But I don't know what the UFC's doing. They out here. Well, you got Dana White out here in Qatar separating Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. He out here, don't fight. Like, this man's in boxing right now. He don't even care about the UFC anymore, bro. I'm just mad that Yair Rodriguez might head kick flake. He might fluke a KO win against Volkanovski, bro. And if that happens, bro, we're gonna rage. We're gonna rage. Like, the UFC does not need a Mexican champ, and it should not be this fool right here, bro. It should not be Yair Rodriguez. He's a duck. He ducked. Well, they literally blessed him with this fight. He like. We can call him a duck all we want. To me, he's a duck. He ducked Diego Lopes because he's the one that started that beef at UFC 314. And then after all that, you're like, oh no, I deserve a title shot. And then the UFC blessed you with the title shot. And it's like, we know you did not deserve the title. We all know you don't deserve the title shot. If anything, O'Malley deserved the title shot more than him. But now we're stuck with this. We're stuck with this fight right here that's gonna happen in probably November, December, because obviously no pay-per-view in September. So then you got this for September. So I think the UFC's trying to have if Gene Silva beats Diego Lopes and Volkanovski beats Yair Rodriguez, I swear they're going to skip Evloev. They're going to skip Evloev, and they're gonna make Alexander Volkanovski versus Gene Silva for the featherweight strap. The UFC is on that hype train right now for Gene Silva if they made this matchup right here. But if Diego Lopes wins, they gotta give Evloev the title shot. They gotta give Evloev the title shot. If they don't give Evloev the title shot, they're probably going to make Diego Lopes versus Evloev 2, and the winner of that gets a title shot. If Diego Lopes wins. I don't know what the matchmaking is going on in the UFC right now, but this right here, we should not have this for November, December. This should not headline a pay-per-view. Ever. And it's going to happen. 2025 has been one of the worst years for the UFC, bro. Luckily, thank God, John Jones retired, and now Tom Aspinall is going to be the champ. But I think this right here, probably going to headline November, December. They're going to have Tom probably fight November, December. It's going to be Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez in November. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane in December. Those are probably the next pay-per-views that we're going to have. And October, maybe this is in October. We never know. But I'm just mad that Yair Rodriguez is really gonna get a title shot, bro. But this right here is a banger of a fight, so I can't be mad. But yo, they doing Evloev so dirty, dog. Evloev, I need you to get a finish against Aaron Pico, which you probably are, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Bellator gang, if you come in out of Bellator to the UFC, you suck. Keep it a buck with you, you suck. Patchy Mix, you put in a bad word for everybody that's coming from Bellator, bro. I'm sorry. But Evloev, I need you to finish Aaron Pico so nasty that they give you the title shot next. But I ain't gonna lie, banger of a fight right here. Screw you, Rodriguez. I hope you get knocked out by Volkanovski, because this does nothing for Volkanovski's legacy. And I need Evloev to get a KO win. But that's all I got, bro. Fire ass fights coming our way for sure. Well, at least this one right here. Fire fight coming our way. I'm GNMs MMA. Like and subscribe, and I'm out.